In my experience, I have read, watched, heard of many news from TV about how we call the sea between Korea and Japan. The Korean government claims that it must be called the East Sea, but on the other side, Japan is claiming that it must be called the Sea of Japan. Some people believe that it must be called the Sea of East Sea, as the Korean government claims. According to Wikipedia, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Korea, the name East Sea has been used in Korean for 2,000 years, including in history of the Three Kingdoms. On the monument of King Kwangyetso, it says that it is called the East Sea, and this happened at the 12th century. But the Japanese have claimed the name Sea of Japan starting from the late 18th centuries. That indicates that Japanese have been admitting the name the East Sea until the late 18th century. Also, the Korean government pointed out that even in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Japan was still using the term the East Sea on their military maps. Furthermore, the Korea argues that the current name Sea of Japan reflects active promotion by Japan during a time when Korea could not represent its interests internationally. While some people believe that it must be called the AC, some people believe that it must be called the Sea of Japan. According to Wikipedia, the Japanese government claims that the same Sea of Japan was internationally established by the early 19th century and is globally used. So, also Japanese government claims that many Western countries name the Sea of Japan on their maps, so that it must be named the Sea of Japan. In my opinion, I do not agree that the Sea of Japan is the right term of the EC as well. I believe for the peace of both Japan and Korea, for the world and alternate the name, I argue that it must be named as something else that is not related to one side of the country, but represents both countries at the same time. I would like to call it the Sea of Eastern Asia.